I think the modern studies of coercion tell us that we don't see measurable differences in treatment outcome from people who are coerced versus those who so-called enter voluntarily to treatment. So I think coercion does play a role in terms of initial engagement. I don't think coercion alone will sustain long-term recovery for individuals and families. So I think there's with recovery, there is the need to manage the continued ambivalence. Ambivalence about being addicted and ambivalence about being in recovery. And so I think the forces that come together to manage that, on the one hand, are forces of pain and consequences that continue to be a motivator and the memory of that pain and consequence. And then the flip side of that is also this very different issue, which is issues of hope. If people have a lot of pre-existing resources in their life, they believe they're in control of their lives, you can provide pain for that individual, and that pain and threat can transform their life. If on the other hand, people have lived on the bottom as opposed to hitting bottom, then that pain is not a motivator. Those individuals have unfathomable capacities for physical and psychological pain. Pain is the norm for them. It's not a breakthrough. What is a breakthrough under those circumstances is not pain, but hope. And I think it's the synergy of pain and hope that comes together. And in the professional assistance program, many of us have highlighted the threat of loss of professional license or other consequences. But sometimes what we don't emphasize enough is, what does it mean for someone as a pilot or a physician to suddenly enter in relationships with other physicians and pilots in long-term recovery and seeing how their lives have been transformed, and have those individuals serve as almost what I call recovery carriers who make recovery contagious. So it's not the push force of pain or threat, it's really the pull force of these charismatic individuals in recovery that really provide living proof about what life in recovery can look like. One of the controversies has come up, for example, around coerced attendance of AA and other recovery mutual aid groups. And in AA and NA and other groups are sort of blamed for that coercion, when in reality, that coercive force does not come from within those fellowships. That is not their role, to provide that threat and consequence. There's no need for it, because what they implicitly understand was addiction as it unfolds will provide all the necessary pain. What's missing in the point of sort of a catalyst for recovery, or the ignition point of recovery, is not the additional pain, but hope that pulls somebody out of that kind of pain. And that's what the recovery community does. And it's also what treatment does at its best, is expose people to that living proof of recovery.